So if you're watching this, I want to ask you, do you know what a real number is? Okay. So I'm strictly against offline coaching as a concept only because it wastes time and it is very slow, in my opinion. You just attempt 50% of the questions correctly, you get to 99 percentile in that section. You don't need 1 year to prepare for CAT, you need just 6 months of rigorous and dedicated study. So my entire prep for CAT was 1,500 rupees, which I paid for this mock test. Everything else was free. So don't talk to them, right? Don't talk to them. They'll say paper.
With any last message for people who will be appearing for CAT? Hi guys, this is Nishtha. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to continue the series in CAT preparation with experiences of my batchmates who've done it all. And today we are going to talk to Ayush, who has converted very top B schools, which he will be talking about in the video. And he scored a 99.3 percentile in his CAT 2023 attempt. He converted all his calls. So we'll be talking about CAT preparation, we'll be talking about interview and any takeaways or tips he might have from the journey. First of all, thank you, Ayush, for coming to the video and agreeing to share your insights with everyone.
Thank you, Rishta, so much for having me.
Right. Actually, Ayush, I think the main highlight of this video would be, when did you start preparing for CAT and how did you plan your preparation? Because CAT preparation के दिमाग में सबसे पहले आता है कि कौन सी coaching join करे. But you did not take any external coaching sort of classes या ऐसा कुछ भी, you did not enroll for your CAT preparation. So would you like to highlight what was your thought process, and if you were to change your decision in hindsight, would you make any other decision or would you stick with what you did?
So I would like to first start कि there are a lot of stereotypes and conceptions regarding CAT preparation. ठीक है? So first of all, there are 3 institutes which come to mind: Career Launcher, Time, and IMS, right? So before people even start preparing for CAT, they think कि इन तीनों में से कौन सा ट्यूशन ले, and generally people think कि 1 साल CAT prep चाहिए, ठीक है? So I want to like slowly break down these things and tell you what is better for you actually. Okay, so it is not a one size fit all approach. So I was very confident कि मेरे को tuition नहीं ले रहा, and I'll tell you why. So if you're watching this, I want to ask you, do you know what a real number is? Okay. So if the answer is yes, then see, coaching institutes will start at this level. They'll tell you what a prime number is, what a fraction is, what a decimal is. तो क्या आपको वो पेस के लिए चाहिए? मतलब are you sure कि you want to go through the basics again, or you just want to do what is relevant? ठीक है? So this was the first step. I was confident of my basics, right? I had studied maths in school at 11 and 12th level. I'd also done statistics in college, even though that is not relevant. But point being, I had a good foundation. So if you have a good foundation, it is not relevant for you. So this is point 1. I feel that you will waste a lot of time in tuition because they'll cover all this and they'll go at the pace of the slowest student in the class. Someone told me this, and this influenced my thought process a lot. Right. So this is one factor you should consider. Second is time commitment. So imagine you are going to a tuition center which is 30, 40, maybe 1 hour away from your place, and multiply that by 2. Then the time. So it takes a lot of time. So even if you're going for coaching, I would recommend online coaching. You can pause, you can forward, whatever. So I'm strictly against offline coaching as a concept only because it wastes time and it is very slow, in my opinion. Okay. Next, let us talk about how much time one should put in, right? So CAT essentially, let's break it down: English, maths, and logical reasoning. Okay. So right now, I am confident that even if you give without any preparation last year's CAT paper, just give it as a mock. I am encouraging you. There is a website called CrackU. You can go there and give past year CAT papers as a mock. So even if you give that, I'm confident you guys will be able to solve English and logical reasoning questions. ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम्हें पता ही नहीं होगा क्या हो रहा है. If you apply common sense, you read properly questions, you'll be able to solve. It's just about refining the whole thing, right? The thing for which you need scientific, there's a scientific way of preparation, is quantitative aptitude or the maths section. So we can talk about each of these sections now, how to prepare and what all resources I used. So first, let's talk about quantitative aptitude only. So the syllabus is very basic, class 7 to 10 mathematics. So first you need to do your concepts, for which I used a book by Arun Sharma. Now, Arun Sharma is a person who gives the CAT every year. He's been giving it for the past 17, 18 years, and he always gets a 99.9 plus. So he's someone who's very credible. So I opted for his book. I did all my concepts from there. I did past year CAT questions from there, which was given in the book itself. After that, there is a coaching provider called Takshila. So they have very good chapter-wise PDFs, whereby first they will introduce a concept key, then they will give you sample questions, solved questions, जो कि CAT में आए हुए हैं from that chapter. So you just go to Google and you search Takshila Quant PDFs and download all the chapter-wise PDFs and go through that. In my opinion, if you do these two things, you are set for the quantitative aptitude section. Then it is all about practice, but your theory portion will be done. Okay. Now let's talk about DILR, what I did. So data interpretation and logical reasoning, again, it is very intuitive. In my opinion, there are no tips or tricks which people will teach that you can apply, right? It is something which comes from within. But how to refine the thought process? So I'll tell you. What I did was I only practiced official CAT questions. So right from the year 2000, like 25 years ago, I started taking out DILR questions to get a feel of how the questions are. Initially, I would say when you are solving these questions, do not focus on the amount of time you're taking, right? This is very crucial. First, focus on solving it. However time you take, then you work on timing. Because see, it is very interesting, I'll tell you. You will get 4 DILR sets in the CAT exam, right? 5 questions each, so total 20 questions. Now, how many questions do you think you need to get right to get to 99 percentile out of 20 questions? The answer is 10, right? If you just attempt 50% of the questions correctly, you get to 99 percentile in that section. And if you attempt one set correctly, that is just 5 questions, you get to 90 percentile. And 90 percentile, trust me, is a lot. You can maximize your scope from other sections, but this will get you through all the sectional cutoffs, right? By just solving one set out of 4. So again, work on timing later. First, focus on solving the sets. We'll come to the mock strategy also later and talking about verbal. So verbal, again, if you are someone who's a regular reader, you read a lot of novels, when you come across words you don't know, you Google it or you search it in a dictionary, right? So all these habits, subconsciously, now you will feel the benefit of it, whatever you've been doing for the past 17, 18 years. Now, how to consciously improve is you buy a book, right? A CAD book. I went through Arun Sharma, but I did not like it very much. You go through some other book where they will tell you first of all what are the types of different questions which come in CAD. So parajumble, fill in the blanks, uh, reading comprehension. So first be aware of what all things come, then practice questions. Right. Of course, the best source to practice anything is past year CAT papers, right? Nothing comes close to that. So your priority should be solving past year CAT paper questions, even for reading comprehension, and then see. First, do it on your own, then see whether you are doing it right or wrong. And just one thing I suggested before you start solving English questions, there is a little bit of theory associated with each type of question, right? So just to give you an example, let's say there is a type of question called parajumble, where you are given different sentences not arranged in sequential order. So you have to rearrange them to form a coherent passage. It makes sense. Start from beginning. Now there are some tricks you can use. Ki suppose sequential order. Ki first, if they're talking about 1970, then it will come first as opposed to 1979. So there are some tricks. There are words like moreover, additionally. So these sentences come later. So these things you can understand by reading theory. Then you can solve past year questions. This was the section-wise strategy. Yeah.
Did you feel during the course of your preparation that these resources that you've gathered from different places, if one refers to these resources, is it enough for somebody to prepare and then keeping aside the practice portion, but covering the syllabus, covering the the theory portion, is all of this enough?
Yes, definitely. And I'll tell you the timeline also for it. If you give 2 months to verbal, 2 months to DILR, and 2 months to quant, including practice and theory, everything, you are more than well prepared for the exam, right? Regardless of your skill level. This I can tell you very confidently. You don't need 1 year to prepare for CAT. You need just 6 months of rigorous and dedicated study.
Now, when you say rigorous and dedicated study, कोई metric है, कोई number है in your mind की daily targets, weekly targets, Because I think 6 months, एकदम से 50% of the calculated time in mind जो सबको रहता है कि 1 year है इससे एकदम से 6 months बोलना. तो what is your उसमें 6 months में कितना rigor होना चाहिए studies में?
So for me, it was 2 to 3 hours daily. And I'll tell you also, like if I were to break it down, see, there are 20 chapters in mathematics, right? One chapter is, let's say, permutation and combination. So you've already studied this concept in school. All you need to do is revise the concepts and see the kind of questions which come in CAT. That is all you need to do. And again, in CAT, you don't have to solve 100% of the maths paper, right? I got 21 out of 66 in math section. I got a 99 percentile in that section. So all you need to do is solve what? 35 to 40% of the math section. And I'll tell you, even in that, some are very easy questions, like very easy. They'll straight up give you find 20% of 100 questions like these. Obviously, more involved versions, but you get the idea, right? So I think what students do is they see some difficult question and then they get intimidated. Ki, I am not able to solve this. I definitely need more practice. But see, that is not the thing. CAT as an exam is designed to give you so tough questions that the best option is to leave it. So it is not just an exam, they're also checking your management aptitude. Okay, as a manager, how do you react to different situations? How do you manage time? How do you manage your emotions?
Okay, makes sense. When did you start writing mocks? What was your frequency of writing the mocks and how did you analyze mocks?
So see, before you start mocks, there are two things you need to keep in mind. First is mocks can be from any coaching institute, and second is actual CAT papers as mocks. So what I would recommend is at least 1.5 to 2 months before your exam, you should start giving mocks. And what I feel you should start with is actual past year CAT papers. And the reason I'm saying this is because then you will actually get a feel of what kind of questions come in the exam and you can be better prepared for it, right? So what I recommend is while you are building your concepts in the concept building stage, you practice all CAT year questions before 2017. The reason for that is 2017 was a radical shift when CAT went from a 3 hour to a 2 hour paper format, right? So 2017 onwards, the questions are very, very valuable. I don't want you to waste them in the beginning. So first you train yourself on questions before 2017. Then once you are done with your concept building phase, you are ready to start practicing and giving mocks. I would suggest you go solve 2017 to 2023 CAT question papers, right? So for every year, you will find 2 to 3 slots. So you will easily have 15 to 20 tests to solve. And after each test, of course, you will analyze the mistakes you are making and also see the percentile you are getting, right? You see the score you get, then compare it with that year, what score would have fetched what percentile. And you maintain an Excel tracker of that. So I did this. Once I was done with all the CAT year papers, then I started doing mocks. The reason for thing is, first of all, it reinforces the kind of questions which are coming. So now while I'm attempting the mocks, that is, I'm entering into uncharted territories. I don't know what will come. Anything can come. So I'm better prepared because I've already done the questions which are expected of me to solve. Okay, so this is one thing. Now talking about the institute mock. So I purchased the mock series from Time. You can purchase any one, CL, Time, IMS, doesn't matter a lot as long as you do all the papers diligently. I purchased Time because I had read somewhere that they are more difficult than the actual CAT paper, and hence if you solve more difficult questions, it will be easier for you on the exam day. Although being very honest, I did not feel as such a market difference between Time mocks or CAT. It is very difficult to compare, right? So you choose whatever you want. Just one bonus tip I'd like to give you. So Time mocks actually cost 4,000 rupees, I think. But if you use the admit card of a senior who has got 99 percentile or more, you get it for just 1,000 or 1,500 rupees. So my entire prep for CAT was 1,500 rupees, which I paid for this mock test. Everything else was free. So you can give partial mocks for free, CAT papers on CrackU. These books, PDFs are available online for free. So the only thing I paid is for mocks. So I would recommend definitely invest in a good mock series. Also, there is a myth regarding how many mocks you should give. So I have friends who've given 50 mocks. I have friends who've given 100 mocks. And the person who gave 100 mocks did not necessarily got more marks than someone who gave 10 mocks. So I was the guy who gave 10 mocks, very honestly speaking. The reason for this is because I had a good base, I had studied for aptitude test after class 12 also. So I had given IIM Indore IP MAT, I had given the UJAT. So I had a strong base, hence I did not feel the need to give more mocks. This is a very personal choice, I would say. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है 50 मॉक देने से तुम्हारे ज्यादा नंबर आएंगे. See what is right for you. Don't get exhausted. This is a mistake some of my friends made. They used to give a lot of mocks and they got exhausted mentally. So I think one mock every alternate day or 20, 15 to 20 mocks is good enough, in my opinion.
One mock every alternate day, like 1.5 or 2 months before.
1 month before. Correct.
Right. Understood. Right. Now talking about the exam day, what should be the right mindset for the exam day? Because I think you've been preparing for several months, but what you do on the exam day is what matters for the next 1 year till the time your CAT score is valid and the interviews go on. So, what is the right mindset for the exam day?
See, the best mindset. So I'll like to share a very small personal story with you guys to understand exam day mindset. So after class 12, I really wanted to get into IIM Indore, right? Through their IPM program. So it was all I could think about, and I prepared also very rigorously, and I worked extremely hard to prepare for it. Full 2 months I did. And exam day, I saw a very tough questions in sequence, like 4 to 5 very tough questions in the math section. Now the thing is, those were the questions you had to leave, right? Because they were so difficult, no one could attempt it. But after seeing those questions, my confidence dipped a lot that I could not attempt the very easy questions which followed those 5 questions. So this happened with me on IIM Indore, that even though I was adequately prepared, exam nerves got to me and I was not able to clear it. Now, a completely opposite situation when I gave the DUJAT exam for my admission to SSCBS. I went with the mindset कि अगर मेरा एग्जाम क्लियर भी हो गया तो मेरे को शहीद सुखदेव तो नहीं जाना है. मतलब I had never heard of this college before, to be very honest. So I gave with a very relaxed mindset. I used to very casually, I browsed through all the questions. I attempted 90 out of 100 questions. And surprisingly, I got All India rank 13. So this is something I tried to replicate on CAT day also. So I went with zero pressure to do well, because I was very confident that even if this not work out, I have options. I had a job offer in hand, so I went with very low stakes. If I'm being very honest, I had a lot of confidence in myself in the exam day. I used to keep repeating in myself कि मेरे से नहीं तो किससे होगा, right?
Right.
या फिर नहीं भी हो तो क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है? Just these two things.
Yeah. Makes sense, because I think this is a very actionable insight that Ayush has given. So video dekhte you can implement this. All right. Any common mistakes that you feel aspirants do, or maybe you did, that you would like future aspirants to avoid?
I'll tell you, in spite of me giving you guys gyan about keeping your nerves cool, I actually got nervous during the exam time. Okay. Also, my scores dipped also a little because of that. So English, but one mistake I would say is don't talk to people. Let's say you are in slot 2 or 3, right? You see people coming out of the exam hall before you go. Don't talk to them, right? Don't talk to them. They'll say paper difficult tha, ye tha, wo tha. Just keep your mind fresh, right? Don't study one day before the exam. Relax a little. You can revise the notes you made, but don't give a mock. Definitely don't give a mock before your exams. Just one thing I did, I was slot 2. So people who had slot 1, they were coming out. I just called a guy aside, pulled a guy aside, and I asked him, just tell me one thing, was the paper pattern same as last year? कि पहले तुम्हारा इंग्लिश आएगा फिर डी आएगा फिर पॉइंट. He said yes. I said okay, bye bye, thank you. Don't concentrate your efforts just before the exam, otherwise you'll feel tired on the actual day. So conserve your strength.
Right. Absolutely makes sense. Lastly, although you've shared many insights and advice throughout your answers, any last message for people who will be appearing for CAT?
So you guys already know how to prepare, right? This is advice to prepare for life. So see, I have both kind of friends, those who cracked CAT, got into the best colleges people would aim for, and I have friends who are not able to do well. Okay? In both cases, it is not कि one person is doing better than the other in life. Okay? Those who are not able to clear this time, they got into decent companies, decent jobs. They will give it again. Hopefully, they'll crack it this year or maybe next year. Nothing is lost, right? Because we graduate in June and CAT is just again 4 or 5 months later. So even if you don't do it in the first attempt, nothing is lost. It is not the end of the world. and I've seen people कि जो लोग CAT नहीं देते, they go to jobs, perhaps they go for something even better, like for an MBA, right? So point is, even if it does not work out, कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा हो ही जाएगा. Just have trust in that. It is, although it is always good to have backup plans. Don't sacrifice your placement season just for CAT. This is a very important advice I'll give you. मतलब you start studying 1 month before if you feel कि placement season के साथ difficult होगा, but don't neglect the placement season of your college. It is always good to have a backup. Also, you can apply to deferred MBA programs abroad, or in India you have ISB. So this you should definitely do.
मतलब it's not either or, it's always and.
Correct.
ये भी कर सकते हो,
It
वो
is
भी कर
always and correct. और सब करना ही चाहिए मतलब then only you will live the true college life.
All right, thank you so much, Ayush. I think this video will be very helpful for anyone जो बहुत ज्यादा contemplate कर रहा है कि CAT उसके लिए सही है भी या नहीं, कैसे करना चाहिए, and बहुत intimidated है इस पूरे process से, जो कि I don't think so इस video के बाद वैसा feel कर रहा होगा. It should have answered major queries, given very actionable insights. So I think many takeaways from this video. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, and all the best to you for your MBA at IIM Lucknow. I hope the next 2 years will be very fruitful and you'll be again coming onto my channel to share some other insights in some other video. I hope to see you again on the channel.
Thank you so much, Mr. All the best, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.